What is going on, guys? This is KOJOFOREX, aka GBP Emperor, aka Emperor of Blues. In today's video, I'm going to show you something very beautiful, something that you've been waiting for, which is basically that simple day trading and swing trading strategy and setup that is going to make you money every single week. Yes, you heard me right, every single week. So guys, this is purely a technical setup. I'm going to show you how I basically feel relaxed every day of the week, thinking and sleeping and relaxing, knowing that with this simple setup that I'm about to reveal to you just today, I am almost always going to make money before the week ends. I've been trading this way for the past 3 to 4 years. It's something I've basically never revealed before, but for the first time on my YouTube channel, I'm revealing it because I really love you guys and I want you to also support me on hitting that 100k subscriber mark by subscribing to this channel and smashing the like button for this video if you haven't done that already. So if you know anything about technical analysis, you may have already known that technical analysis is using historical price movement to predict or anticipate future price movement as well. So in the same vein, then it comes back to the same strategy that I'm talking about, which is almost always using historical price movement to predict and anticipate that this is also likely to happen in a week again. So all I'm teaching you is that you want to first look at the 4-hour time frame. Usually it's going to work best using a higher time frame. 2 hour will work best, 1 hour will perhaps also work best, but I am so comfortable using the 4-hour time frame, so I'm going to suggest or recommend 4-hour time frame for you as well. But the strategy is simple. It's more of a psychological understanding and acceptance than just theoretical knowing of it. So it's not something you've not heard before, but the moment I show you, you realize that you may have not necessarily even thought about the market in that light, and that will obviously come as a surprise to you. So let's get right into the chart. Let me break down this simple way of thinking about the market that is definitely going to make you money every day or every week before the week actually ends. So yeah guys, if the week starts on a Monday, basically as a trader, I want to look at the market from a very simple perspective. What happened last week and what is yet to happen or what is likely to happen in another week? That's just the two ways I think about the market. Every time I just look at what happened last week on the market and what is likely to happen this week, right? And a simple way to just have the perspective of what happened on the market is using these vertical lines that I have here. You can do that manually if you don't have the same thing I have here, right? So it's all about just understanding that if you look at this market for you as a Swiss franc, you can clearly tell that this year was the beginning of last week and then this year was the end of last week. So everything that we have here basically denotes what transpired for you as a Swiss franc last week, and we can clearly see that what it made a swing high, came back down, and then almost closed at the very top of the highs again, right? So that's exactly what happened for Swiss franc. If you move on to any other currency pair, like we're looking for USD JPY, you can clearly see that for what transpired on USD JPY for the most of last week, we can see that the market opened around here, UJ dropped and then pulled all the way back here, right? So that's first thing what you want to know, just what happened last week, and then use that to perhaps forecast or pre-anticipate what is yet to happen in this week. Now that you understand what happened last week, let's look at how you can use that to anticipate what is likely to happen in the new week. Now, the simple concept here is that we're still going to be imploring what we call support or resistance, or some people may prefer to call it demand and supply zones. And a new school of thought that I introduced onto the forex market is basically making traders understand that when we talk about supply or demand or support and resistance, it's not necessarily looking at it from continuous or multiple touches in the market and say, okay, because we've had about 5-6 touches, this is what causes support, or because we've had multiple 5-6 reversals, this is what we call a resistance. I call it any reversal point in the market because we use the concept of price floors and price ceilings, where price floor basically is any price point below which the market failed to go any lower, and then price ceiling being any price point above which the market failed to go any higher. So if we say any price point below which the market failed to go any lower, then we say that that price point serves as a support to the market. So it's basically holding price on so that the market does not trade further down, and then price ceiling holding the market price up so that the market does not continuously push further up, right? So once you understand that, all you got to do in this strategy is that find a particular market that had a price floor or price ceiling established in the previous week. So in the case of, let's say, USD JPY, all I'm going to do is that, okay, it did establish this price floor in this range last week, right? So we can denote it with this X here. The simple thing you're waiting is that still focusing on the principle of technical analysis, which is using historical price movement to predict future price movement. We're saying that if the price held strongly here as a support region or as a floor region, and then it prevented this market of USD JPY from trading further down, then there's possibility that if it comes back down into this range, then it can also hold again and then go up. That is as simple as the strategy is. So once I make my mind up that this is what I'm looking for, the whole week is already set for me. You don't need to struggle. And remember, I said that this is a trade setup setup that can make you money almost every day at least, or every week before the week ends in the market. What it truly means is that we have about 25 currency pairs, more than actually 30 currency pairs that every trader can have options of choosing from. But this thing that I'm teaching you will play out for the most part at least in 1 or 2, if not about 3 or 4 of them before the week actually ends. So if we come back to the example of the USD Swiss franc, paying close attention to what I just taught you, then you can clearly see that for USD Swiss franc, we had this high here being created before the market closed the whole of last week, right? So once we understand that this is exactly where this market created this high before the week ended, right? Continuously, obviously, when we observe this, we had a market push all the way down, making that Fibonacci tracing beautiful one before it pushed back up, right? But that's not the most important thing. All we are trying to look out for is that where did this market end before the week closed? This is exactly where it ended, right? And then the price action strategy that I'm teaching is that using that historical price movement, we are just anticipating that as it has ended here, obviously pushing up, retracing and coming back up, in the next subsequent week, there's possibility that it's going to also do the same thing of reversing into the opposite direction. So all you want to do in that week is that you're waiting for that setup that is going to bring the market into reversing into that opposite direction. Right now, if you look at this, obviously it did close here and then this new week just opened. With this new week just opening, obviously you want to also wait for your candlestick confirmation and reversal pattern that is going to complement or make up for what we call confluence in this setup. That's going to give you the extra confidence to know that indeed this is trying to repeat the same thing that it did, right? So here we can see that what the market pushed down here, which is exactly why we are trying to anticipate that it's going to come back into this range and then push down there again. So your setup is going to be set within the time frame or time range of where the reversal is occurring, basically, right? So here you have your confirmation, then you want to jump in on this trade after that confirmation and anticipate that the market is going to come back down like it had already done. And then let's see what happened with this one. Beautiful one, it just drops like that. So this would then definitely qualify as one setup for you in the week, just following that simple concept, knowing that one way or the other the market is going to present something beautiful in your way like this. Let's look for another setup similar to this one. So guys, let's use USD for this confluence or for this concept. Right now, if we look at USD, this is actually one that happened about last 2 weeks, but it still qualifies for the purpose of the scenario I'm teaching you guys, right? So now if you look at USD Swiss franc for this range, you can clearly see that what if I want to break down what had transpired over the course of the week, we had this one happening last 3 weeks. So this is basically everything that traded within last 3 weeks, and this is what happened last 2 weeks, and then this right here is what happened last week. So we just started this week with this small candlestick confirmations right here, right? So now let's focus on the last 3 weeks and last 2 weeks range, which is like basically this whole range right here. Now if you want to focus on what happened last 3 weeks and last 2 weeks, you can clearly see that if I use the replay tool, you can see that for the most part of last 3 weeks, these were the highs the market created, right? And then we started observing some sells. So now let me remove this trend line so that the picture becomes even extra clearer for you guys. Now we can clearly again see that this market just drops all the way down like that, right? So you may not necessarily be able to catch this move. That's not a point, that's not a problem. All you want to do then is what? Mark out this range and then pre-anticipate that this market is likely to come back here, providing you with what? That second chance or that double top to be able to jump right back in again for the next time when it comes down. But you're not going to do that blindly, or you're not going to do that not necessarily knowing the time frame. When I talk about time frame, I mean the particular week in which that reversal is going to happen again, right? So now let's look at what happened. So we can clearly see that what the market did close here. Once you can clearly see that vertical line being shown there, you can clearly see that is exactly that week where this market closed here, right? Now you may not necessarily have the reason to jump in for a buy setup. If you do have a reason to jump in for a buy setup, it qualifies. That's a perfect one. But if you don't have any reason to jump in for the buy setup, then you want to sit on your hands and wait and pre-anticipate that one way or the other before the week ends, GJ is going to make its way back on to this highs here, give you that perfect confirmation you're looking for, and that is where you're going to find that solid setup that you can bank on in on hard, or put all your confidence behind and then trade and make money, right? So let's see subsequently what happened with this one. So you can see that the market just started pushing up aggressively, right? Let's observe what happens. All of a sudden approaching those previous highs again, taps right into that previous high, as you can see here, right? So it just tapped into that resistance region that we had established. You can see that we created this high here, came all the way down back into this high. So we are watching within this region. Is the market going to break and continue making those highs, or is it going to repeat itself like history denotes it to do, which is creating that double top and then basically creating that reversal pattern that we can make money off, right? So that's where the setup actually lies. So now the simple confidence or the simple trick is just specifically understanding where that reversal pattern is going to occur here. Once you are right and confident with that reversal pattern that occurs here, then you are set to go in terms of jumping on this trade. So let's see what we can observe. Clearly we see another beautiful tweezer pattern. So you can see clearly that we have a tweezer formation. So with this tweezer pattern, if you want to put your stop loss above the record, it can obviously be so huge. So you want to put your stop loss just sometimes right above that candlestick closure. It's also very safe to do that as well, right? But the whole idea is that let's see what happens after this tweezer confirmation, right off from the scenario of waiting for the market to come back into a previous level that I established in the previous week, and see if it's going to repeat the same thing over again. Let's see what happens. Clearly GJ just drops and then gives our setup that legitness we're waiting for. Another way to just add confluence to this setup is that if we put our trend line across this one here, we can see that we have what the first touch here, second touch, and then a third touch right here. So if you don't understand what I just did, then you want to really go back into my trend line strategy, and then I taught this one clearly, understanding how you can be able to find trade setups on the third touch on the trend line. Other ways, if you want to really go deeply into it, then you want to purchase my KOJOFOREX Go strategy, which has the link in the description, and then I break down all the necessary core concepts that you need to understand on the forex market to be able to trade like me chronologically. So this right here displays the course content that you would have to your availability, and at the same time you get to also join the mentorship group where I teach and then have continuous live sessions with them and trade together as well. So I hope this simple deep breakdown just makes you understand how sometimes I can be so relaxed, and then knowing that one way or the other, no matter what, the market is going to come back to a previous high or a previous low that I established for me in a previous week, and I'll be able to trade that using my key candlestick confirmation, and then still make money on the market over and over again, and send some to my community members for free, which is why you need to click in the link in the description to join the KOJOFOREX Telegram community, and then also connect with me on all social media, especially Instagram at KOJOFOREX, by following me there as well. So yeah guys, without wasting my time, I hope you guys really love this video. Smash the like button, destroy it, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done that already. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.